And it's such a joy to be together and to share this. Ladies and gentlemen, let's welcome our very own, much beloved Frida Atipo is in the house. Give it up for Frida. Yes, loud and clear.
I would say we can't hear Frida.
Oh, no.
Hello, can you hear me, Captain?
Yes, I can hear you. Can you hear Frida? Can you hear Frida, please? Dr. Boyson, can you hear Frida?
I can hear her.
Okay. Yeah, so can you hear me now?
Yeah, we can hear you.
Great. Okay. So we are about to share with you these amazing gentlemen that you've just been seeing them on our screens during presentations and have not heard the nitty-gritty of how their journeys have been so far, whether they have also gone through all the struggles from birth as you have also gone through. This is the revelation we are about to unveil to you. Guys, I will start by introducing to you the first gentleman, as you saw in the flyers. This is a gentleman all the way from South Africa, Rustenburg. I hope I got the city right. Okay, and this gentleman is a 100K earner in this business. He used to work with the mine as a mine surveyor. He worked day and night in this business, and he saw this amazing concept and went into it. He's now made over $100,000 in this business. He's now a stay-at-home dad, and he's taken over hundreds of vacations worldwide. This guy has bought dream cars, things that he was seeing in his dreams. It's now become reality for him. And this gentleman is no other than our International Marketing Director, Thami Sohunu. Thami, are you on the call?
Absolutely, Frida, I'm on the call. I can hear you very well. How about you?
Great. Welcome, Thami.
Thank you so much, everyone on the call. Thank you so much, Dr. Kim Boyson, my brother, Abute, and everyone else. My dearest sister, Helen Kipinji. I've known her for ever since actually I started really building the business. And my good friend, if he's on the call, Mr. Martin Ndio. I'm so excited. I'm so honored to be here tonight to share my journey with you all. And I hope tonight would be a great day. You're gonna learn about more of what happened, how you all started, and all this. So you are welcome to ask me any question about my journey. Thank you so much, Frida.
So,
all right. So good to meet IMD Thami. Today we get close and personal. We get to hear him in a way that we haven't heard in a very long time. In fact, for some of us, we may never have heard him this close. But isn't it such a delight that on a day like this, when we bring a real titan from the southern part of Africa, we go across to the east of Africa as well, and to bring an equal dynamite, a real light, a lighted flame. Now, she will shine so bright that we can feel it when the sunshine is down here in the West Africa. She has been branded as the sunshine lady herself You know what? For many, many times we were using her picture all the day, and we never thought the day would come. Here we are, ready to embrace with her. She's $1 million earner in this amazing concept. $1 million. Can you imagine that? She's $1 million earner, has been in World Ventures for a number of years. She's a real diva, a real pioneer for the whole of Africa and beyond. Indeed, one of the legends of our business across the world. Ladies and gentlemen, let's make some noise for the one, the only, Helen Kitinji in the house.
I'm in the house. Thank you very much. Thank you. You know, I'm not just having so so much. What can I say? I'm really challenged to keep up the sunshine, but thank God, I have so much of it which is God-given, and so for me, I consider myself a conduit of plenty and abundant sunshine from above. And so, ladies and gentlemen, my brothers and my sisters, get ready tonight to receive a big dose of sunshine. So thank you very much, Kapute and Dr. Boyson, Frida, and the leaders for inviting me to share my story. Tammy, it's so lovely to see you. I like your new hairstyle. Woo! Yeah, I really like your new hairstyle. I can't wait for the borders to open and the airspace for us to come back to South Africa and hang out together. It's always such a blessing. And just thinking about how amazing this club is, this platform that we get to meet and interact with people from all over the world, from Ghana, from the best, like the top MC in Ghana, from the best, like Dr. Boyson. Thank you very much. And of course, Tammy and Frida, I'm really honored to be here.
Thank you, thank you, thank you. Okay, so let's just keep the ball rolling. Okay, so we'll start with Tammy. Tammy, okay, so we've been seeing in our presentations, Tammy had earned $100,000 in World Ventures. Tammy, okay, today we are just going to the other side. Have you really felt the money? How does it feel like? And have you really earned the $100,000? Please, let's hear from you.
Yes, thank you so much, Peter. Of course, yes. I've made a few $100,000, and so basically the $100,000 is there's two ways to earn it. You can do it as a lifetime earnings, and you can also do it as your annual earnings. So what I've achieved is 100,000 per annum. Is where the 100,000K starts. But initially, it was 100,000 per for lifetime, and I got to also make it in just 12 months. And yes, I ended, and yes, I helped me to really live the dream that was sold to me the day I got to see World Ventures. If you can allow me to just share my screen a little bit, let me just show you some of this is what I sold about 8 years almost. It's about now 7 years and 10 months. I'm just exactly today, I'm about 2 months before I celebrate my 8th anniversary with World Ventures. And when I saw this opportunity, they showed me what you see on the screen. And at the time, there was no hope for me. I mean, I come from poor. If I can show you where I come from, this is where I started my schooling. I started schooling in a farm during the apartheid era in South Africa. And my mom was among the poorest people, coming from the poorest villages. Even today, my village, you still don't have a tarred road. I still have to drive on a dead road to get to my house. And so we were struggling, and I used to walk more than 20 kilometers many times to walk to school. And at the age of 8, at the age of 9, when I was still in primary school, literally my first 2 years of schooling, I was attending under a tree. I never got to be in a classroom. My first 2 years, my next 3 years was in the same classroom with the same teacher teaching all the subjects. So literally, I was on the first row for my first year, second row for my second year, third row for my third year. And that's when South Africa got to realize its democracy in 1994. And then I got back home. And I went all the way to higher, secondary schooling. And this is me. This is where I come from. So if you wonder, who's this guy? This is me right here when I was doing my final year in secondary. We call it matric. I don't know East and West Africans how you call it, but it's your last 3 years of schooling. And I was staying in a shack, which is a corrugated iron type of house. So you don't even have, there's nothing much. I mean, this is my bed right here. This is where I used to sleep for 3 years of my last years in high school. But sorry for not hitting my picture rightly, but you can see, I see Helen is trying to, to adjust. Thank you so much. So that was my bedroom. And this is all that I had in my bedroom. You can see my shoes there in the bed. You can see my cosmetics on my headboard. And while I was here, when I was still in school, I was so broke, I was so poor that I had to find ways to survive. So the number one thing that I learned first when I was still in school is to sell sweets. When I was still while I was in my primary level, I sold sweets. My mom used to give me sweets, and we call this chips in South Africa. I don't know how you call it in other parts of the world. And peanuts as well. So I used to sell something for me to have money and to continue with my day-to-day life. And when I got to matric, during my grade, my standard 8, 9, 10, I was now, I created my business. So I was taking pictures, all at school. And that's how I survived. When people pay me, I use the money to pay everything, buy my clothes, everything you can think of. So I was independent at a very young age, and I was forced to become independent. And on my very last year in school, I did well in my class, in my grade, and the very same year, my mom broke her leg. She was a domestic worker. Now, if you don't know what a domestic worker is the lowest of the low class. That's the lowest job you can find. At the time, my mom in her lifetime, she has never earned anything over $100 a month. That's how I was brought up. And this is where I was actually receiving one of the accolades of doing well in matric. But it was a mid-year result, not the final year result. So I was promising, but I was also distracted because during the time my mom got injured, I was the only person being able to take care of her. So I took care of her. She stayed in hospital for like 3 months. I had to be running back and forth, hospital and back and all that. And I tried to get to varsity. Things didn't go well with me. In South Africa, it's not as easy as most people think to get to varsity because we don't have normally those government sponsorship like many other countries that I know where you have so many sponsorships. So my mom couldn't afford to take me to varsity. And I tried to get a sponsorship that couldn't afford me everything. And eventually, within 1 year and 6 months, I had to go back home. And I tried to do all the wrong things, drinking and smoking and all these other things that no one has ever heard of. I think you guys are the first people to know that actually these are some of the habits that I got to be involved in. And fortunately, I got to find a job in the mines. Now, this is me performing my job. This is my very last few months in the mine. And while I was in the mine, I started to realize that I was actually hitting my ceiling. I was getting to a point where the things I could dream of when I was still young were not going to be possible if I continued doing what I was doing. I had to find a way out. Okay. And thank you so much. Right. Welcome. Well, Ventures came to my life, and I don't know if there's any other question.
Yes, so hold that thought about World Ventures for a second. In fact, IMD Tommy just corrected us, and rightly so, because it is an error to say that he has made $100,000 since joining World Ventures. The fact is that he's $100,000 a year earner in World Ventures.
100%.
And that is over 580,000 Ghana cedis every blessed year. That's over 580,000 Ghana cedis. My goodness, that is World Ventures for us. So I want to transition before we get into how World Ventures came into the picture. I want to transition to the Sunshine Lady. And you know, if we are shocked, if we are bemused, if we are bewildered by $100,000 a year, let us put it in a whole new context. Helen Kittingi, World Ventures World is telling us that at a certain point in 2019, you had accumulated a total of over $1 million US. And Helen, you know, we say this so many times, we say this so often. You can say it sometimes so often and get so familiar that the magnitude of it is lost on you. So today I want you to just contextualize it for us. Is it real? Is the money, is it real? Is it real? Tell us, Helen.
Wow, thank you for that question, Kabute. And yes, it is real, and it is 1 million, not Kenya shillings, US dollars. So basically, I joined this company in 2013, and for me at that time, I didn't even know it was possible. I had never touched even $100,000 US dollars. I mean, so when we talk about million, even I was so intrigued and shocked, and I don't even know what expression, because I just got an email one day and I was told, we've sent you a statement and we want to congratulate you for having earned $1 million US dollars in your career in World Ventures. And so I embarked on this reflection on $1 million US dollars. Where is it? And yet I want to confirm that yes, I've earned $1 million US dollars, and this has been an accumulation of or a combination of weekly income that we earn here from sales that we do from week to week, from personal effort, and from also the people that we bring along to, to grow together, to get financial freedom together. And so, yes, I have been able to have this achievement because of helping thousands and thousands of people. So, so this money is a reflection of the impact that, number one, I've been able to make with my team, impact around the world, in Uganda, in West Africa, in Europe, in the US, in Kenya. This is just a reflection of the many people that we've been able to bring on board and making this money together. Now, where is this money? So I'll tell you what, like Tammy, I was born in a humble family. My mom was a nurse, my dad was a police officer. And so we were 6 children, and we had the basics. We had so much love in the family, and I would say we were very, very fulfilled and very closely knit. But the thing that I noticed when I was growing up is that there were other people who had other things that I wanted to have when, so we all usually say, when I grow up. I don't know where you come from, there's a phrase, when I grow up, I want to be like MC Kabute, And so my dad was, at one point, was a personal security officer for one of the cabinet ministers in Kenya. So he was like, like a bodyguard of some sort. And so they say that sometimes when you're very close to the boss, you can get some remnant benefits. And so what happened, my dad's boss said, hey, how many children do you have? Well, I've got a daughter, she's this age and so on. So his boss said, oh, why don't we, I'll hook you up and your daughter can go to a very nice boarding school. And so it turned out that my dad got the opportunity to take me to a boarding school where this minister and his friends, his fellow ministers used to take their children because of, it was a favor, let me say. And so when I was at this school, I couldn't help notice that I was different from these children. On opening day, when we were dropped to school, my dad carried a metal suitcase. I remember, I don't know whether you have metal suitcases in Ghana and South Africa and wherever you are, really heavy metal suitcase. And my dad would carry it and I would be trotting behind him. And we were using public transport. And I remember the first few meters to get to the gate of the school was an earth road. It was not tarmacked. And so this, the minister's children used to be dropped with limousines, and I just remember the clouds of dust, we moved to the side and there's this cloud of dust. And I used to think to myself, one day I will also drop my children or I will drive a car like that. But it's interesting when your children, there are no boundaries. So I played and interacted with these kids, but every time the parents came or, they came for visiting, I would notice the difference. And so that is where my dreams and my desire to pursue success was planted. And so when we're talking about $1 million, throughout my life, I know, financial freedom was one of my priority goals, because for me as a child, I associated success with finances because I connected. The reason why we were walking to school and carrying this metal suitcase with my dad is because we didn't have as much money as they had. And so that is where that seed was planted. And so over the last 7 years in World Ventures, I've been so blessed. I've been so blessed to have this platform that allows anyone from any background. You don't need to have any any education qualification. We have an equal platform, a financial vehicle where we are allowed to write the amount. We have a blank check and you can write the amount that you'd like to earn. And so when I just look around me, it has this opportunity has enabled me transform my own life, the life of my children, my parents, and this $1 million can actually now be seen. My mom has the best health that money can buy because she gets access to the best doctors. My dad too. Our children go to the best schools. One is in Kenya, the other one is in the UK in university. My son in the university lives in an apartment that we pay almost about $1,000 a month for his rent. And then we also have upkeep. I'm talking about living in the suburb area in Nairobi, Kenya. And so, yes, this money can be seen with the impact that it has had on our lives and many other people's lives.
Wow, wow. Helen, being rich feels good, doesn't it?
Oh, yes, it does. As I speak to you right now, I'm in a private villa in Diani, on a 5 days holiday. It feels really, yeah.
Dream trip.
Yeah.
That's the life. That's the life. That's the life.
Yes, yes.
Great. Okay, so back to Thami. How did World Ventures happen to you? How did it all start? So just give us a brief of how it all started.
Yeah, so I received a call from my cousin, my cousin's wife, and that I have to be in Johannesburg, which is about 3 hours from where I was living. I was living in a mine compound, basically. It's like quarters, like they give you rooms to live in. So I got into a car and all the way to 3 hour drive to Johannesburg on a Sunday afternoon, and there was a couple of people in the room. I was very late for a meeting. We call it African time. So I was very early for the next meeting. I was late for, but I was early for the next meeting. So towards the end of the presentation, they spoke about two things. They spoke about money and they spoke about traveling. And most importantly, the person that invited me, my cousin, is somebody that I was very close. I like the guy so much. He was one of the few people that I was very close to in my family. So I asked him one question towards the end of the presentation. Bro, does this thing work? He said, bro, I'm already in. You have to be in. And I didn't have money. I was broke, but I made a plan immediately to get started. So I reached out to my credit card and I got started immediately. I didn't get anything. I was not understanding anything at all. And that very day, I had to drive back home, another 3 hours of driving. And I'll be honest with you, my first year, I disappeared.
Disappeared.
I went AWOL. So it went to proceed. So I went AWOL, and for like your first year, and the cousin that influenced me to sign up to World Ventures passed away.
Oh, that's sad.
Leaving the wife and 2 boys. So I was in charge of arranging the funeral. Now, when we were doing the funeral arrangement, the wife, who's my personal sponsor, said to me, you know what, we need to do memorial service. We need to play a slideshow of the life we had with my husband. They had just been to 3 vacations. And that was, for me, where the switch flipped. Because looking at only 3 vacations they went to, it felt like they have lived a life that I could never, ever in my life attain. Because I was living the opposite of my dream. My dreams were to have a good life, but the reality of the reality was I was spending more hours underground in the mine. When my dream as a young man was to explore the world and see the world. So when I saw him with his family at the beach, at the hotels, you know, I saw people's eyes, you know, filled with tears when they look at how awesome my cousin was, how awesome father and a husband he was. And I asked myself one question: how will I be remembered? This is how my cousin is being remembered by his family. So how will I be remembered? There was a trend in where I come from, in the mines, that if somebody dies, the colleagues would wear overalls, hard hats, you know, those like your normal work suits they normally put on at work. They will go and, you know, give the colleague a send off wearing like they are going to work. So in my mind, this guy, this is how he's being remembered by his family. But it means for me, my family can never have anything to show of how we live. My colleagues will come and, you know, show up with their overalls. And I was very emotional. I was very emotional. I went back home and I had to do a retrospection. Why am I here? This guy lived, I mean, as much as my cousin left before he's 40, he turned 40, I could die any second. And I cannot waste any more of my life. So for me, it was where things turned around. I went back home. The guy who I tried to recruit immediately when I got started a year ago, his name is going by the name of Hector. Helen knows him very well. He's an R&D. He had to drive with me from work to home because his car was broken. I mean, he had an accident with his car, so he was bound to take a lift with me to work and back. That time, me and him went to a meeting in World Ventures. One of my friends, actually, my former colleagues, tried to recruit me, only to find that I was already a member for a year. And he was pissed off that I was a member for 1 year and he didn't even know. So I took Hector to the meeting. And towards the end of the meeting, they asked Hector if he's ready to get started. And he said, yes. But I'm going to sign up under this guy. So he pointed at me, and we left the meeting. On our way back home, he asked me, so how do I get started? I said, I don't know. I will call my upline and find out. And Thirdly, it took me and him together 6 months. We showed probably about 600 people. We got all no's.
Wow, wow, wow.
So it means in actual fact, it took you almost 2 years to get your first sign up.
Yes, it took me 18 months to get my first sign up. And it took me 2.5 years. So my enrollment date is on the 25th of November, 2012. My fourth sign up in May 2015.
Whoa.
So I paid my monthly fees more than almost 2.5 years.
2.5 years of monthly fees.
Yes.
Wow, wow, wow. And today, you are $100,000 a year earner. Come on, somebody show me some love. Somebody show me some love. That is the spirit. That is the spirit. Helen, let me ask you, Helen, do you remember when you got qualified? When you got your fourth person? Do you remember when and the circumstances?
Yes, I remember when I got my fourth person. So for me, when I saw the presentation, it was not planned. I had gone to one of my clients' office, and after the meeting, she said to me, you know what, there's something I would like you to see. And I said to her, you know, do I really have the time? It was 4 o'clock. Then she said, so there's so much traffic. So I reluctantly agreed to stay. And before I knew it, I saw people streaming into her office. They pushed the desks and there were chairs brought into the room, and I saw people sitting, and I was kind of concerned, like, what is this? But anyway, I respected my friend, so I stayed. And another lady walked in. She had her laptop. I remember her sitting on the side, and she was looking very excited. And I remember asking her, where have I seen you before? And anyway, before too long, they put up the presentation, and I saw a lot of pictures. They had been to the US for the United event, and so they had taken pictures with Wayne and the executives, the IMDs. But because I didn't know them, what struck me was, wow, I want that. I want that lifestyle. I want to go to Las Vegas, because the pictures, they had taken them in Las Vegas. And there was one particular dream trip that they showed. You know, the way when we're doing our presentation, we have the examples. There was this dream trip to Greece, which was coming up in a few months. It was $179 for 5 days in an all-inclusive luxury hotel in Greece. And for me, I was so excited. I said, at last, my family can go to Europe, because I had worked by then. I had been working for 15 years in the banking industry. I had worked very hard, because what I understood from when I was very young, that for me to have the lifestyle that I desired, I had to work very hard in school and then go get a job. I was very lucky to get a job in a bank, which was very good at the time. And when I got to the job, I equally put in hard work to get to the corner, you know, to grow in promotions and get more money. But I can tell you the truth, much as I was a senior banker, the salary, by the time we paid our bills, we didn't have much left to travel or to invest or to, you know, to do other things that were on our dream list. But we just carried on, and it's the same story with a lot of people. A lot of people do not know that there's another way. So they just kill themselves working and working hard day and night, maybe even doing a business. Maybe the financial vehicle is one that requires a lot of resources and a lot of time. And so at the end of 15 years, when I looked back, I had a good title. I had a reputation. I was successful in the banking industry. But the truth was, I had a lot of debts. The other day, I went to a hair salon where I used to go when I was in the bank, and I just broke down emotionally, because I remember for years I went to this salon and I did my hair, my nails, and the bill came to about $30. And I remember I couldn't pay $30 for my hair. I had a book, the salon had a book where they would write how much I've spent, and I'll tell them I'll come and pay at the end of the month. And I would go at the end of the month and I would pay half the amount because we had other bills to pay. And so when I saw that presentation, I was thinking about my 2 sons and my husband going to Europe at last. My kids didn't even have a passport then. And so that's how I got started. Now, I didn't understand about getting 4 people and earning money. I just was hung on the idea of traveling. So there's so many people who are dying to give certain things to their families, but they don't know how. The financial vehicle they are using is one that will, you know, for years, you just keep working and this money is never enough. And in Kenya, I know a lot of people, when they go on retirement, they actually go up country to work and they work until they die. And so when I got started 4 months later, my sponsor, Florence Minor, I really thank God for her. I thank her so much. Because she insisted that I go to boot camp training in South Africa. And when I went to boot camp is when I realized that I finally had the key to open my dreams. And when I came back, I got my 4th person the same week that I came back. And I remember it's one of the media personalities in Kenya. And I remember I had to babysit this guy a whole afternoon. He wanted to have his meal, his drink, and he's delaying, and but until he signed that form. And I remember driving back after, I think it was 4 hours, and I was so happy I had gotten my 4. So that's how I got my 4. Yeah.
Wow. Wow, amazing. Let me go back to Tommy very quickly. Tommy, so tell me, as concisely and as short as possible, how did you transition? I know it's a lot of experiences and a lot of things over that period, but how do you move from 600 no's in 2.5 years and paying monthly fees for 2.5 years? And at that level of, finances that you were, how did you switch and transition from that point to become 100,000 a year US dollars earner in World Ventures? I know that is a crash course that can take 1 week, but just, make it precise for us.
The best thing that ever happened to me, which is the best thing that has ever happened to all of us in World Ventures, is personal development and growth. Because, we allow everything that is happening to me has happened to every successful person out there. The only difference is the level of growth here. And that's where most people don't pay attention to what they bring into their mind. So Helen just mentioned earlier, she got to see the value in what she does when she came for the Millionaire Bootcamp. And I can tell you, I listened to Nicola's story. He also got the flip switch when he came for Momentum in February. So most leaders got to understand why they are in the business when they go to the big events. Me too. So I went to the big event and I was introduced to the leaders in World Ventures, and I started to be curious about their story. So I started to study those names that I could remember. People like Matt Morris, people like Jefferson Santos. Now, if you listen to Jefferson Santos and Matt Morris' story, it's almost the same as my story. And I mean, Matt Morris took about 3 to 4 years to sponsor 4 people. One was the mother, the other one is the guy who was drunk or something like that. So every time when I was going through a depression, and think about this, Abute, you are stuck in one rank. I remember in 2015, Helen came. I think I first saw Helen maybe 2014, but I remember when Martin was working stage as a director. I was a senior rep. And there were people, Helen, remember the first view in Pretoria. There were people working stage who has hit marketing director in 2 months. I'm already 3 years in the business. I just hit senior rep. And you are at the back. No one knows who you are. And there are people who get on stage and say, hey, my name is Tammy, and I've been doing this for 3 months. I'm a marketing director. I made a 5,000 bonus for hitting director in 3 months. So what helped me was to immerse into personal development and understand that every one of us has a journey, has their own journey. To compare my journey with Nicholas's journey. Nicholas has been building his credibility for many years. Look at the credentials that he has. Now, I come from nothing. I come from the mines. I come from, if we come from the mines, we are called a rat. I literally was among the people who were looked down at because I had zero credibility on business. And it has to take me long. And if you are at the 0, okay, so when it comes to numbers, I was a 4 or 3. So people that I was attracting in my life were also 3s and 4s. So it was difficult, but what helped me in just one way, training. One way, training. I never missed training. My first ever training, the view, I had a team of 12 people. I flew to Thailand. I was in debt. I came from Thailand in 2014 December. There was no view in Africa. The next year, I flew to United States of America for United. It was in Kansas City, 2015 April. And then the same year, that's when I recognized the gentleman called Martin Dio in, I think it was September, July, when we met in Pretoria at the view in Africa. For the very first view in Africa was in 2015.
Wow. It's humbling. Great. Okay, so now back to my lady Sunshine. So you said you got your first fall. After the fall, what happened to that leap to $1 million? Please share with us briefly.
Okay, so after the 4 people, remember I got my 4th person immediately after I left boot camp, because at boot camp, I got to learn the skills, I got to understand what was possible, because there was 2 IMDs on stage. One of them was a double IMD, Mr. Byron Shrag. There was Mr. Marcasetta. I saw people walk on stage and share their stories, so I knew it was possible. And I got to understand exactly what I needed to do. So it was the first time that I really understood the skills, the simple system that we use here in World Ventures to grow our businesses. You see, coming from the banking background, I was used to complex processes and procedures. And I'm telling you, we used to have crazy targets. I was managing, big teams. It was really complex. So for me to calm down and just do 4 things: list, invite, share, enroll, educate. It was like, really? So I'm one of those people who actually decided to do my own things, to reinvent the wheel. So I made flyers, I did Facebook posts and so on. But I got zero success. I got 0 until I started following the system that was trained at that event. And so to fast forward, from the 4, what I did is that I made a personal decision that I was going to walk that stage each time we went for a training. So I took personal targets. Next time, for the next training, 3 months later, I must walk on stage. And for sure I did. You see, my friends, what you try to do, what you set your mind to do, you will do it. But if you work without goals and targets, then you can find yourself just accompanying people to the events, and you have fun, you listen to Makasera, you come back to the next event. So see, after I got 4, the next event, I walked on stage as a director. The next event, I walked on stage as a marketing director, and so on. So every event, I walked on stage on a new rank. And every event, like Tammy says, I made sure that I went with double, if not more people than I went with the last time. And so when we left the event, it was me so charged, and also my team as well. I also focused on building leaders. And so one of the first things that I did immediately, I left the boot camp. Remember, I was 4 months old. So for me, it took me 4 months to get 4 people. But after that training, I decided to take personal responsibility to win. And so my sponsor never saw me again after that event. What I did is I went back to my office, I cleared the reception area, and I started doing presentations every Wednesday evening after work and every Saturday. And I didn't know what I was doing, but there was a video that we had been given. So I used to press play the video, and then I would face the guests and I would tell them, do you have any questions? Let me summarize for you what the and I'll take a flip chart and write number 1, it's a club and you pay this much. Number 2, there's a monthly fee. Number 3, and it used to be 6 points. And then I would chart and say, you know, you can also become a partner and make money. And each time you bring a member, you earn this much. So, and again, just bullet points. And then what I would do is I had these posters of dream trips on the walls. And so people would be like, wow, I want to go to that place. And so that is what I did. And before I knew it, my reception area was too small to fit the people. You know, it was a small space. And so some people are watching from the balcony, and we stayed there until the landlord was throwing us out because there were too many people coming into the compound. And then I made a decision to go out and look for a meeting room. Now, I didn't have the money to pay. I didn't know, I had never addressed a big gathering before, but I said to myself, there's that one day. So I remember my first Saturday when we got a room, it was in January. I had made a New Year resolution that I was going to expand and grow. And at this time I was a director. I remember wearing my first lapel mic and my heart beating so hard. I was, trying to be a big girl and, training. I made my own slides, PowerPoint slides, and I was training, and everybody was so attentive and happy. And in about a month, the room was too small for the space. Whoa. And so we kept on duplicating, and I started inviting other leaders to try and just present, say something. And before we were taking off. And so for me to get to the $1 million in LTE earning, it took building leaders, giving people an opportunity to also, grow in leading their teams. I also implemented a system so that there was teamwork. So we started having meetings with the leaders and discussing, what is our get 6 and earn 570. So each time someone signed up, would welcome them and say, now fast forward to 6 to get 570. So that was a standard for all of us. So there was something people were aiming for. And so it was through creating more leaders, more people earning money, taking more people for training that I got to the milestone of $1 million earner.
Wow, 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 wow. That's amazing. In fact, I'm so much inspired. Okay, so my next question to my Lady Sunshine again. It's I'm not just on you, but just to get people, I'm sure this question is on a lot of people on this call's mind. You are a lady and you had to put in hard work to get to the top. Your first 1 year, your first few months, your partner and the children might not have seen the vision you were seeing from the beginning. So how did you manage marriage life, family, world venture pressure, plus your private business? How did you manage your partner in this whole concept?
Wow. Frida, that's a hot question, but I'll answer it because I know we have so many ladies who are doing this business. And
exactly.
I think also applies to the men. So the gentlemen, you better listen also very carefully. So I'll tell you the truth. My partner was not into me for 1 whole year. He was very upset. He didn't understand what I was doing because I got so crazy about World Ventures. At the dinner table, I was talking about World Ventures. In the bedroom,
whoa.
The car, I was talking about World Ventures. After church, at the parking, I was talking about World Ventures. And all I was saying is, oh, I need to take that lady's number so that I can call her. Yeah, at the mall, that is all I'm saying. And, I suddenly just changed. I became this person who was just obsessed. So for me, my family, first and foremost, they would ask me, questions like, what happened? How can it looks like World Ventures now is your number 1 and we are second. My kids cry often because I used to get home now late because on Wednesdays and other days later, we'll do travel parties. And suddenly I'm now this mom who is not there, see the kids coming home and having tea with them and dinner with them. When I got home, I was very, very tired. But if the phone rang and it's something to do with World Ventures, then I was in a lot of trouble. And in fact, it was so bad that my husband started sending aunties, older aunties and uncles to talk to me. And I remember one particular uncle, he called me and said, hey, Helen, let's have lunch. He knows that I like to read books and he's a professor, so he used that as an excuse. So when I went diplomatically, he said, the family is concerned and I have some good news for you. There's a very good job opening at Barclays Bank. And there's a friend who can actually make the connection. So what do you think? Oh my God, I was so disappointed. So basically, how did I overcome that? So there was that, okay? So how did I overcome it? So through personal development, listening to Mark Caseta and the other IMDs, I figured out that I needed to share with my family because I wasn't going to give in. And in fact, the fact that there was so much against me doing World Ventures, it actually gave me a sense of urgency to win so that they could get me, so I could get off the hook. And so what I did is I sat them down and I shared stories of Jefferson Santos, Mark Caseta, Matt Morris. There was also Byron Shrag and David Watson. I showed them videos and pictures of their lifestyle. And I told them, I painted for them the picture. I want to get to IMD because this is what it will mean for us. If you're earning $50,000 US a month, what does it mean for you,
Mhm.
for us, okay? And so reluctantly, my husband said, okay, but I want you to reduce your late hours, and at least Sunday, let it be a family day. So I said, okay, I had to agree to some extent so that I could get permission, okay? And so after that conversation, I really had sleepless nights because I needed to win quickly so that I could prove to them that what I was doing was worth it. And so when I started hitting ranks and we started seeing the money, then they slowly started loosening up. And today, my husband is my #1 champion.
Hey!
Yeah, my children, in fact, today my son in the UK sent me a prospect. Somebody went to clean his apartment over the weekend, and he said he talked to him about it, and we'll be showing him tomorrow. And so that is how I won my family. And of course, today you can imagine what it means, to have endured the suffering from rejection from family. Today, they love World Ventures, and we all love World Ventures. So that is how I overcame that.
Wow. That's amazing. That's amazing. Charlie, guys, drop something on the page. Drop something on the page. Drop something on the page. Everybody loves a winner. Everybody loves a winner.
The love will
And
increase.
I tell you, the way for your spouse to fall in love, more in love, is for you to win at World Ventures.
Sure. So the ladies, let us win. Big time.
So, Tommy, we want to take that same question, and then we will transition to look at what the future is like for all of us. But Tommy, we just want to ask, along the same lines of the family, how were you able to carry your family along with you, your spouse along with you? Did they understand the vision? Did they know where you were going together? When you were going on trainings, even though you didn't have money and you were in debt, how was your spouse taking it?
Yeah.
Yes.
Thank you so much for a great question. And I learned how to become a good liar. A liar in the sense that when I went to World Ventures events, they told me to create a vision board, right? Where you put all your goals on and, go all out, full out, all in to achieve those goals. And I was good at one thing with my wife. The first 6 months that me and Hector couldn't get anyone to join us, every time I came back, because I was working until late, around 6 o'clock, 5 o'clock. And from there, I had to go do at least 3 presentations before we come home. So I'll be home around 10, 11. During winter in South Africa, it's very late at night. So every time I get home, I'll get one question from my wife. How was it today? Every day. How was it today? And I'm getting 0 every day, and I'm getting the same question. Babes, how are you doing today? And I knew what the question was meant for me to say is not good, so that she can say, we've given this thing a chance. I want my husband, I want my partner with me. So I knew where the question was going. So I almost came back, even though things were not going good, I came back fired up like I had the best time of my life. I said every day, things are about to blow up. Watch the space. Every day. We are about to become a household name. You are about to become one of the princes no one has ever seen. So I said this when there was nothing happening. To a point where, when I look at the pictures today that we have created over the years, everything that I used to lie about is now a reality. Because what I learned real quick, personal development is powerful, guys, is your imaginations are a preview of life-coming attractions. Let me say it again. Your imaginations are a preview of life-coming attractions. That's what you need to learn today, that all you have to do is to have that vision board and sell it to your family. And make sure that you don't quit to come back and say, I'm sorry, it didn't happen. So for me, there was no way I was going to settle for mining again. Some of you have good careers. You can always say, if this thing doesn't work, maybe I should try. I should try my banking career or my accounting career or, my law career. You guys have options. I didn't have. My option was to stay underground. It's either I stay in the light or I stay underground. So I had to cast that vision and make it so precise and clear to my wife and my kids that you give me your time today, I will reward you with a lifestyle that none of the people that you see in our neighborhood will ever have. And I did that. So the reason that's actually one of the main reason why I've never quit World Ventures, even though I thought about it many, many times, because I don't think there's anyone who's gone through adversity like myself. I've gone through my life has been adversity. And what I learned is if you look at soccer teams, most of the time they miss. They only score one goal in the whole 90 minutes, in the whole 95 minutes or 100 minutes. So most people think when you go into a field of play, you have to score every ball that goes into goal post. You are going to miss more chances than the ones you are going to convert. So I had to learn this from personal development, World Ventures event, that you are going to have more no's in your life than the yeses. But those few yeses combined, they will exponentially grow to a point where you look back into your life and realize you have made the best decision ever. So I saw my wife by casting a vision and making it so clear that there is no turning back. It's either this or nothing. Thank you so much.
And my goodness, this is so full. This is so full. And tell me, Tommy, for all of us, how does your wife look at you now?
Okay, I think I've done this before, but let me share this once again. And you tell me, what would the wife what would she think? I'm trying to open something here real quick. Give me a moment. So basically, everything that I said I'm gonna do, I had to do. I had no other option. I'm trying to quickly go to the collage, just for you to have it in your face. And everything that you see here is what I actually said to my family, that, you know what, you give me enough time to go work this thing out. I know that I'm not the fastest person to achieve these results, but here's the lifestyle. His rather Meg, look at her.
Mm-hmm.
This is the answer.
The Zanzibar one.
I see the Zanzibar one, the Zanzibar picture, the Zanzibar picture.
Yeah, I'm coming to West Africa real soon. So I told them my kids are gonna go to Disney World. I told them they're gonna spend, last year December we spent Christmas in Dubai with my mother as well, and then we spent New Year's in Egypt. My kids have been on 14-day cruise around the Bahamas Island. We've been to Miami together. We've been to Amsterdam together. We've been to Mexico, Cancun, Disney World, Kansas City, Paris, Abu Dhabi, Jamaica, Rio, Hollywood. And she come from nothing. All she did was to allow me to come late every night. And if I didn't sell the dream to her, she wouldn't have bought anything. So most people, what they fail is the posture. If you tell your woman or your man that I'm trying this thing out, your ways, I'm trying, you're already preparing yourself to fail. And they know everyone who ever said they're going to try something out, they never come back with the results. So you might as well just stop it right there. But if you say with conviction that there's no way out, this is it or nothing, and you are determined to go all out, full out, and get those results back. And again, make it a point that you reward them. Because sometimes you say, I'm gonna do all these things, and the money comes in, now you start to think of other things. I rewarded them with the lifestyle that I promised when I started.
Wow, wow. Guys, drop some more feedback, drop some more feedback. It's just amazing. It's just amazing. There's no time to try. We're doing it or we're not. So we just have just about another 15, 20 minutes more to go. Now we want to take it into the future. Now I want to start and get back to Helen on this. There are different people at different levels of their journey at this point listening to you. There are people who have just joined and who are seeing all of this and they are just confused, you know, and it seems beyond their minds. There are people who have joined for about 3 months and they are still paying monthly fees, and they have decided that I'm going to take my card off World Ventures account. There are people who have been here for the last 6 months and have not yet hit senior rep, and they see all the other people ranking up and going up, and they really, it can become a weight and a burden on your shoulders. As you wrap this up and look into the future, what do you see? What do you see in your mind about what is possible for all of us if we just do the things that all of you have done, which has brought you this far?
Okay, that's a very good question, Kabute. Thank you. So we all need to understand that each and every one of us has their own journey, because each and every one of us is coming from different places, different backgrounds, different experiences. I like what my brother Tami talked about. He was coming from a place of zero personal development, zero experience, zero posture, and he was underground with the miners. And so the people he was attracting before he came into World Ventures and started doing personal development were the miners. I mean, people at that level. And so we need to understand that when we come here, there's somebody who is older, maybe knows more people, is more exposed. And so I'll say one thing. It doesn't matter when you finish or when you hit the rank. What matters is that you finish. There are those who will finish before, who will run faster, because like in Kenya, we have the athletic tribes, you know, and there are those others, like where I come from, we are not exactly athletic. So on a race, those guys are bound to run faster than I can. But it's not about running fast. It's about having the desire and the vision and you know, and commitment to actually finish the race at your own time. Everyone is on the journey, their own journey. For me, what I found, this might sound maybe a little, you know, off, but for me, I strongly believe that World Ventures is a divine platform, not even to give us financial freedom, but to grow us as people. And so for me, I know one of the things that have happened to me when I came to this company is I became more patient and more focused. And so I believe that God brought me here to mold me as Helen, because there was where I was coming from and where I am going. So the question perhaps is to ask each one of us is, what do I want? What am I getting from this beyond the money? Because I'll tell you guys, after you've been in this company for 1, 2, 3 years, you realize that it's more than the money. It's actually many things. It's community, it's growing yourself, it's being the dad who keeps promises, like Tami has created a lifestyle for his family. It's medical, it's so many things. And so if you're here and you're new, what you need to do is just sit and ask yourself, what do I want for my life? You know, remove from the shelf those dreams and those, you know, things you've been wanting to do, you've been procrastinating, or maybe you didn't have the financial capability or the environment to achieve. You need to bring them out now, and they are yours. Somebody else, like Frida, might have another dream that's different from mine. And so just be sure about why you're in World Ventures, what is your end game, and then focus on running your own race. Of course, the company has created for us a structure where we can aim at something. So for me, I think the ranks, they create competition, they create a sense of, you know, measure for achievement. And so all you need to do is just make a decision. It doesn't matter how long, but I will get my 4. It took me 4 months. It took Thami 2 years. It took Dr. Boyson a night. I know he did it in a night. Yes. So we are all different. What matters is that you get the 4, okay? What matters is that you hit senior rep. I know Joy Kibuchi recently, she hit senior rep after I think 2 or 3 years, but she did it. She was so delighted. And if you ask Joy, by the way, those 2 years, she was learning. She has learned a lot. So maybe she's here to learn those lessons. And so don't give up. Return your cards into the system, because there is something that you're here to learn. And on a journey to success, there is no failure. There are only lessons. We learn along the way. And for us is to open our eyes, our ears, to ask ourselves, what am I learning? Learn, and then move on. So that would be my advice. And the future for us is very bright. If you look at the continent of Africa, we have millions and millions of people we haven't touched yet. Our team, I think, is about 30,000. And we have millions of people. We have 42 million people in Kenya. And we have less than 1 million that we have impacted already. So the future is very big. The question is, are you going to be there to partake of the cake? So just purpose and commit to running the race until you win. Thank you.
Okay, great, amazing. Okay, so Thami, the same question to you. How do you see the future? What is in store for us in World Ventures?
First of all, begin with the end in mind. Know what you want to achieve out of this and work it backward. And have faith. What I like about what we do is before you even get to IMD, you already have some manna from heaven. When people get into World Ventures, sometimes they expect the results like Nicholas, right? And if they don't get the results like Nicholas, they start to realize they think there's something wrong. I mean, on this platform, we have Nicholas who did IMD in 8 months and 20 days. We have Tani who did this in 6 years, who paid my fees years. I mean, you understand, I worked my journey. He was working his journey. But at the end of the day, we hit the same rank, all of us. So it doesn't matter what happens. Here's the thing. I think if you know what faith means, it's action taken in the absence of evidence. What you're gonna do today, what are you gonna do now matters, because this is what we call our business is, we call it a character building business. Before you get the result, who are you becoming? Before you hit IMD, who are you becoming? You want to lead 3,000 people. Are you ready as a person mentally? Can you lead? Can you wake up one morning and find Nicholas on your weak leg and Martin Dio on your strong leg, and they all pour everything, all the questions, their frustrations on you? Are you ready to really go out there and handle the business? So what I'm saying is, walk your journey, focus on what you can do, learn. In the meantime, learn as much as possible. But here's one thing important: have fun. See, it amazes me when people get frustrated in World Ventures when our product is to distress. When you feel like it's too much, book a dream trip.
Go on a dream trip.
Or get an ice cream.
Too much, go on a dream trip. Now, here's the thing. When you are on a dream trip, your level of belief, the energy you get from there, will make you a different person when you come back. Sometimes you are too stressed with the business that people can see in your eyes that you are so desperate for their signatures. But when they see you on a holiday, you come back, they're the one now asking you, how do I go with you next time? So if nothing works, book a dream trip. Let's see what happens afterwards.
Great. Thank you. In fact, we've had an amazing session. But before we wrap up, let's open it up to our audience out there. If you have any questions, you can just raise your hand. We'll give you the opportunity to ask your question, and you direct it. The floor is open. You can type it in the chat box.
Okay, so we have literally just about 8 minutes to go. So whatever questions we have, we just put it together and then we just have a crisp ending to this. But Helen and Tammy, you know, look, this your stories, your journeys, the fact that you open them up to all of us. On this call, we have literally the whole world represented in different portions, and it is such a life-changing journey now. Tammy spoke about, you know, who you become, and that there's a character building journey. So I want to just quickly in points, if you don't mind, can you contrast who you were, Helen 7, 8 years ago, and Helen today, in just words? Helen 8 years ago and Helen today, Tammy 7 years ago and Tammy today in terms of character.
So first, I've become a global thinker. I actually don't think locally. I think global. I'm strong in character, very, very resilient. I'm also very empathetic. I like helping people a lot because I've seen it's possible to, you know, to move from one level to the other. So my character has changed in the sense that I am more, I look out for, you know, for people to elevate their lives. I'm very patient and I'm very focused. Before I used to do 10,000 things at the same time, trying all sorts of side hustles, very many of them. But today I have the confidence because I've been able to achieve a lot and have my dream met in one place. So I'm very, very focused, very resilient as well. With the personal development, the training that we have over the years, I've become very resilient. And for me, I can face a lot of things now. I can face challenges. I can face, you know, discussions. When people are in distress, I'm now able to, you know, to rise above and become a pillar of strength for a lot of people. So that has been my experience.
Awesome, awesome. And Tammy, if I can ask you the same question, Tammy 7 years ago and Tammy today, how different are you?
Tell you one thing, my brother. World Ventures is not a travel company. It's a personal development factory or leadership factory. These guys in traveling. You know, you can mention all the trips I've been to. You can make you know, mention of the money we have earned, but the person you become over the years beats all of those things, because you understand there's a lot of people who are looking up to you, and you need to have gone through some phases of life to be able to help each and every one of them. So over the years, we have seen the downs. We've been here, we've been there, and I mean, just looking back to where I was in the mines and today, I mean, for me, I'm nowhere close to where I was 7, 8 years ago. I'm way far. This has taught me a lot of things. I mean, like Helen just said, I feel like I'm a global citizen. That's why, I mean, today on this call right now, I'm in South Africa, you are on West Africa. She's from East Africa. Martin Dio is in East Africa. Basically, we don't see the borders anymore. So the way we think is global. We think global, like Helen just mentioned. So we don't see the world as this huge thing. We see the world as one thing that we all can share, laugh, you know, hug and have fun and all these things, and also be able to share knowledge and information about how to live better life. And this for me has been a blessing. On a serious note, I mean, just to be able to be Ronaldo, you know, to play at an international level, coming from nothing. Because most people most people from South Africa don't even have a passport. And I'm playing at an international level. You're playing at an international level. All of us on this call here, you have gotten the opportunity in the world to be able to be anywhere in the world, and you can be dropped anywhere in the world and make a phone call and somebody can pick you up from the airport. That's the lovely, the beauty of what we do. To be able to have in every country in the world is bigger than the money we make and everything else. Thank you.
Awesome. So a few questions came in. People want to know what was your lowest point, and people want to know and what people want to know beyond the money and the impact, how far. So I'll leave the both of you to just grasp your thoughts as your final closing words. But just before we do that, it is through one man that we got the pleasure and the gift of connecting to the both of you. And once we have him on the call, it's only appropriate that we have him share just a few words with us before the two of you have your closing. So ladies and gentlemen, you know we have only one prince of East Africa. We have only one thick skin of a rhino in the house. Ladies and gentlemen, make some noise for Martin Ndiho. Through him, we have the blessing of connecting to Helen and to Tammy at this point. Martin, a few words from you to wrap it up. He wasn't expecting this. We didn't tell him about this. So, Martin, go ahead.
Wow, thank you so much, my brother, for having me on the call. This came, by surprise. I wasn't really sure I was going to do anything today, but come on, when you ask, who am I to say no when my brother Kapute asks me to say something, yeah? So, listening to Helen has always been, I always get to listen to her and I learn lots of things. I listen to Tammy, I learn lots of things. We have very powerful leaders in World Ventures, and again, their stories, getting to learn from their stories, getting to learn from other people that they mentioned on the call. This has definitely helped all of us, with myself as well, to be able to build and to be able to support people and to learn from their stories, and also get to, pass on the message from whoever we found here. And again, the leaders that we are beginning to have right now. I'm so proud of each and every one of you, Kapute and Frida. That was amazing. And again, Helen and Tammy, thank you so much for accepting our invitation. And of course, all kudos goes to Dr. David King Boyson, who pushed through it and said, this thing has got to start. We've got to do this thing. Dr. David King Boyson, I salute. Kapute Okanti, I salute the entire team. Team Organs Blazing Power, Team Worldwide, Team Fast Forward, Team Momentum, Team World Ventures, Team Expansion from Tammy and Fizz Clan. Wow. Fede. Thank you guys. Thank you for having me. I'm so humbled and honored to be here. Thank you, my brother Kapute. Take it away, bro.
Hey, wow. Martin, I see the WV on your ceiling. Whoa, you bleed blue. Okay, so to wrap up, let's hear the final words from IMD Tammy and IMD Helen. Who goes first? Ladies first.
Wow, you guys, you have no idea. Now I'm not gonna sleep today. I feel so in the right place. In fact, as this call was going on, I'm looking at Kapute, I'm looking at Tammy. I've just had Martin, and it reminded me of a dream trip. We went in Cape Town, a helicopter ride, and right now I'm just having, just the feelings and the spirit that was in that place. There was so much love, so much community, so much togetherness, so much joy. And so for me, I can just summarize World Ventures as one word, actually, just love. Yeah, this is a place where you will feel at home, you will feel loved, where everyone cares about the other winning. We win together. You cannot get to IMD if you don't love other people and you don't help other people. And just as we have been saying, beyond the money and the fun, it is who we become to ourselves, to our families, in our communities, and also around the world. And so thank you very much, Kabute and Frida and Dr. Boyson, for giving me this opportunity to share my story. And I can tell you, team, we are just getting started. You see, the year is ending, and the year is ending, another year is beginning. And so this is the time, to just step up our gears, because these big things are going to happen in Africa and the world over. And so let's get ready to rock and roll 2021, but we can only rock and roll big time if we finish the year strong. So the next 3 months, let's push, let's rock and roll like crazy. And I look forward to the next event. I think no one is going to miss that event, because I'm really South Africa event. Yeah? So thank you very much. All right. Okay.
Okay, thank you. So now hear from Tommy.
So basically, the one thing that everyone on the call needs to understand is our business it's a truth-telling business. It's a truth-telling business because it will tell you the truth about yourself, the people around you, the so-called your family, the so-called your friends. You are going to learn who you are, who they are. Now, the moment you are going to realize the truth about who you are and the people around you, and many times or in many instances, you won't like what you see. You're gonna be knocked down so many times. You're gonna find out. Just understand how you do anything is how you do everything. If all you do is when you get knocked down, you don't get up. You're going to carry yourself everywhere in every aspect of your life. Be it in your relationship, be it in any other business, be it at your job. And so, I've had my downs. I've had my lows, but every time I went through those adversities, attritions, and all this you can mention, I was reminded of who I am and who I really want to be. So my vision board is all about World Ventures, because everything that I envision, World Ventures is going to deliver. It's not maybe, it's going to deliver. It has delivered so far. There's not a thing that I said I'm gonna do. I said I'm gonna build my mom a dream home. It's up. I'm gonna buy those dream cars. Wow. We're gonna go to those dream destinations. You saw them. But going into this journey, you are going to have, in many times you are going to fail more than you win. So this is a truth-telling business. Whatever you do, if you feel like no one is listening or no one is taking you serious, it simply means you don't need them in your life. You thought they are for you and they're not. So learn to understand this. Not everyone that you think is for you is for you. This business reveals the truth. Now here's the thing, most people, when the truth comes out, they are scared to lose people. You're gonna be scared to lose them. In actual fact, they lose you, you don't lose them. There's enough people out there who have the same vision as you are, who can really collaborate, lock arms with you to build your better future, than to be stuck around and moaning and complaining about people who don't have the same, who don't share the same vision and aspirations. So every time I go on my lows, I understand one thing. It's a seasonal change. You can never have one season the whole year. You're going to have all 4 1 year. There's always a transition. if we're doing well ventures, when you go here to a summer, just understand it's going to be spring, it's going to be winter, it's going to be all of this autumn. Are you prepared to walk through these phases? You guys have been listening to Martin Dio's story. His success story doesn't go like this, it goes like this. Now, people who hit the top are people who can withstand the challenges going up to the top. Martin is there, Helen is there, Nicholas is there. They just sent to all of you a location. I don't know what you call it, a pin. All we have to do is to follow the directions. Do what they do, say what they say, and get the result they have. Unfortunately, you're not gonna have a smooth ride. You're always gonna have those moments when you wake up in the morning and you look at your back office, you log out and log in again because you don't think it's your back office. If you haven't seen that, it's coming. Unfortunately, I wish I could tell you something different. Then the same people that you thought are gonna build your business with you, they are your RMDs or MDs, they're gonna take you to the double IMD rank. One day, you're gonna look them in the eyes and say, I thought we were in the same vision, we had the same vision. When everything happens to you, the only thing you can do is don't quit on you. Thank you so much. Never quit on you.
Thank you. Amazing, amazing, amazing. Don't quit on yourself. Okay, that's great. So you've had it for yourself, ladies and gentlemen on this call. My co-host, Kabute.
So thank you so much, Helen, Kitingi, Tommy, thank you so much, Martin. Thank you, everybody. Can you show some love to our leaders on the page? Show some love to our leaders on the page. We are doing this, guys. We're not trying it. We are doing it. We are doing it. Our lives are going to become real. Our lives are going to become truth. It is going to happen. We are not trying. We are not testing. This is about to blow up like never before. So Helen, enjoy your dream trip, enjoy your private villa, enjoy the amazing space. Tommy, send our love to your beautiful family. We love you. We appreciate you so much. Thank you, my brother. For everybody on the call, this is the season. Thank you and God bless you, Dr. David Boyson, for seeing this vision of this amazing platform. God bless you guys. God bless you. God bless you.
Thank you so much.